Well, hi, Julie here from Cricket Leg Creative. Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a fun fall Halloween card for you that I'm calling the Bear Witch Project. It's a tri-fold shaker card. I'm going to be using some shaker pieces that I got from Walmart. I like to check their craft section whenever I'm there for glitter and sequins and such. And I'm also going to be using some stamps from the Simon Says Stamp Card Kit of the Month for October 2020. Some really cute fall-themed images and words in the set. I've been having fun with them. I haven't gotten to all the images yet, even. And I'll be using some gray gingham paper, some black paper, and some transparency film, along with my usual white cardstock base. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do is figure out where this window is going to be on the front of the card. I have a plan for the bear and where he needs to be. So I just use him as a guide and tape my Hero Arts circle die in place. And then I'm just going to run it through my Big Shot die cut machine. Once this card is put together, you'll basically see it's going to be two cards kind of facing each other and sandwiched together. So it's time to trace the window for the other card so I can figure out where my scene's going to be. And I just do that with a pencil. Time for the stamping tool. This one is the Stamparatus from Stampin Up, but you can use whatever tool you have. And I'm just putting my magnets on there to keep my paper in place. And I'm going to position my bear just so he's barely peeking into the circle. And when it's done, you won't even see his eyes from the front of the card. I really just want his ears showing. So close the tool, pick it up, ink it up. And I love using Memento Tuxedo black ink. It's my favorite pad for using with markers. Love that you can stamp images more than once with these stamping tools, so that if you don't quite get a crisp image, you could do it again and you don't have like a little echo of an image. So time to make a mask. I just place a post-it note down on my bear and don't even need to re-ink it. Just stamp it with whatever ink is left and then cut it out. I only cut out this with any kind of precision the sides and the top, because that's the only place I need to have him masked. And I'm just placing my pumpkins, one on either side, and then I'm using the tree stamp in a second from that same Simon Says stamp set to stamp right on his head, which looks a little weird now, but you'll see where that's going. When I pick it up and go to ink it, I just am being really careful to only ink up the outside edge and not the trunk, so that I don't get that mark in there. Okay, and then using the circle that I cut out earlier, I'm going to just use that as my paper for some of the front card embellishments, the leaves, and the sentiment. Using the paper that I already cut a circle out of, I'm putting that over top of my gray gingham paper and lining that up together. It'll just cut through the gingham because I've already cut the white paper. And this is just to show you what transparency acetate I'm using that I got at Staples. I'm masking off my card so I can get some coloring done here in a second. And these are most of the colors that I used. I did add some darker grays later. And I'm speeding up the coloring of some of the stuff here. Just coloring the leaves, not doing a ton of shading here because there's just small elements going on the front of the card. You're not really going to notice the shading too much. And then I'm just fussy cutting them out, leaving a little bit of white border around the leaves for the front of the card. So then I'll set those aside and move on to my bear. So I'm just coloring in the pumpkins to start here, and then I'll move on to the bear. But I've found that I've really enjoyed coloring ever since I started using these alcohol markers. You can see here I'm coloring in it looks like a dunce cap, I guess, but it's going to become a witch hat in just a second. And there goes the brim. Looks a little more like a witch hat, and I realized just after I colored this in that I completely forgot I was going to put like a band and a little buckle across with a Sharpie fine point marker before I colored him in. Oh well, next time. I've really enjoyed coloring. I do not have Copic markers. Those are not in my budget right now, but these Ahoo markers are pretty good. Some of them came in my set a little dry, which is disappointing because they're not refillable, and you also cannot buy single colors. So if I wanted to replace that color with the same brand, I would have to buy a whole new set. But I've been trying to just add a color or two here or there of Copic, especially if there was a marker that I had from my set that was really dry. I've bought a couple. And I can tell a big difference between the Copic sketch and the Ahoo markers. Some of my Ahoo markers are really nice and wet, and they blend really well. And if they were all like that, I'd be pretty happy, of course, until it came time to, you know, replace them. But one thing I'd love to recommend to you if you're really interested in doing a lot of coloring with alcohol markers is to go check out Sandy Allnock. She's on YouTube. She also has a great art classes website where she's got watercolor and colored pencils and all kinds of stuff, but she's got these amazing Copic classes for backgrounds and things, and I've looked at all the little teasers for them, and I've watched so many of her videos on YouTube, and she's just amazing. I just want to take all the classes. I think probably what I'll do is just buy at least one every month and take them, because I've learned a lot already just from her YouTube, and I haven't even purchased any of the classes yet. So that is definitely on my radar to do. So I'm still not, I'm learning new things, but I'm still not super great at things. I'm sure that when I take her color theory and intro Copic jumpstart class, I can't remember what it's called, that I'll learn a lot more about how to blend colors and what colors to use together. So here I'm just coloring in the background. I'm not even going to color in the moon. It's just going to stay white, the color of the cardstock. And I'm just coloring in with a dark blue marker. I end up going over this sky quite a few times. You got to do that and really flood it with color so you can kind of get rid of some of those brush marks. Now I'm just kind of checking things out. I realize that I think I deleted the part where I show how to make this ring, but it's just two concentric circles from a Hero Arts circle dies set. And I'm just kind of seeing how things line up here, and I notice there's some white that I need to get rid of with the side of the marker there. So now I'm making marks on the fun foam that it's going to be sandwiched in between on the shaker, and you can just run that right through the die cut machine. I'm just taping it in place and running it through. It'll squish it a little bit, but it'll bounce right back. Now I'm looking at the back of this. Whenever you use alcohol markers, they really seep through a lot. That's how it should be, because there should be a lot of color as you blend. So I'm just going to put a slightly smaller piece of the white cardstock on the back of it to hide all that bleed through. And now it's time to start working on the shaker elements. So I'm going to tape the first layer of transparency or acetate on with some Lawn Fawn double stick tape. It's 1/8 inch wide. I really like this tape. It's easy to use, so I'm just placing that down there. I like this tape. The back's usually pretty easy to remove. It's a little tricky on this fun foam because it didn't want to stick down at the end, but love this tape. I have several rolls of it. So I'm just placing it right over there on top of the acetate, and now it's time to put in some of the shaker sequins and glitter and things. So I had already mixed them together to see how they look. You don't have to do that. And so I put them into the window area. And right now I'm turning over all the eyes, which will be a complete waste of energy, as you will see soon. And I put some more double stick tape down and place the second layer of transparency film over that. And I'm so excited when I'm done and I start to shake it and I start to realize that those eyes are too fat to move around in that little window. I was going to leave it, but it was bugging me, so I ended up peeling off the plastic. You could put another layer of fun foam there, but I didn't think it was going to fit in my envelope with that two thick layers of that. So after I put the plastic sheet back on, now it's time to cover that back. I put the die cut down, cut side up with a sticky tape under it, with the sticky side up, so that I could grab that die and put it in the right place, and then I run it through the die cut machine and place it over top with some more of that Lawn Fawn tape. Okay, now I'm just gonna place that nice pretty paper over the top of the card, and you'll see some of the edges showing through, but this little black circle that I had cut with concentric circles from the Hero Arts die cut set just cover that up really, really nicely. And it's time to put those front embellishments on. So I just kind of place them before putting tape on, and then use little pieces of double stick tape to place them on. Okay, time to put the two cards together to make one card, and I'm putting some double stick tape on the very back of the card that has the scenery. and just kind of lining them up together with that one edge by that fold, and then lining up the top and bottom to make sure it's on there really well. Just kind of lay it down and press it in, and that's good. I ended up trimming some of the left edge of the bear scenery because it was a little tight in there. Now I'm just using a white gel pen to add little dots to his eyes and some stars in the sky. And I'm also going to add a little bit of highlight on the edge of his witch hat. I would love to tell you who makes this gel pen. I really like it, but it came with a set of envelopes that I bought on Amazon, and there's no markings on it at all. So now I'm just fixing the pumpkin stems because it was really bugging me that they were almost exact same color as the background. All right, so there's the finished card with no googly eyes, but I can save that for next time. Cute little card, that trifold that opens up, and you've got plenty of room to write a note to your buddy. Hey, if you like this video, I would sure appreciate a thumbs up from you. Also, please make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this, and click the bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Y'all take care.